My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, every single year we make a resolution to change ourselves. So as we bid farewell to Hijri 1444 and we commence the new Hijri year of 1445, I would like to take this opportunity to remind myself and all of you of something that we should all try to resolve to achieve in this year, insha'Allah ta'ala, collectively. We live in a day and time where every single one has their own definition of Islam and a feeling of what makes them good enough Muslim. Some stick to traditional values, some feels the need to change themselves, some feel that blending the two is the right way to go, some feel that Islam needs a complete overhaul. You will find pockets of strict Islamic interpretation to ultra-liberal Islam and everything in between. Titles of groups and organizations, peoples and bodies have flooded the Muslim world to the extent that either you have to be very, very careful while conversing with someone who is other than your group, who is from other than your group, if you want to be considerate, or you can rip them totally apart because you want to give them an impression that you are more better, more righteous, more correct, more pious than they are. So as we begin this new year, the question is, what can we learn from the Quran and Sunnah in this predicament? Whose example can I use in my personal life to gauge how far I am from the entire product of Islam? And I think despite of all the differences, every group can agree that the example that we should use to gauge how far we are from Islam is the example of our father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, whose legacy we celebrated in the last month. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions a term repeatedly while describing Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam in the Quran, and I would like all of us to understand truly how significant that term is to all of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, قُلْ إِنَّنِي هَدَانِي رَبِّي إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Say that my Rabb has guided me towards the right path, دِينًا قِيَمًا, the right religion, مِلَّةَ Ibrahim, the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam, حَنِيفًا, the upright one. قُلْ, say, صَدَقَ اللَّهُ, Allah has spoken the truth. فَاتَّبِعُوا مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, follow the path of your father, once again, حَنِيفًا, the upright one. Inna Ibrahim kana ummah. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was an ummah on his own, was a nation on his own. Qanitan lillah, he submitted to Allah. Once again, Hanifa, the upright one. What is this description? Hanifa, Hanifa, Hanifa. Hanifa means somebody who is completely and utterly upright in all of his or her affairs, as exemplified by our father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. It's not a pick and choose. The religion that you commit to follow in Ramadan, the religion that you commit to follow in Jum'ah, the religion that you commit to follow in your salah, the religion that you commit to follow in Hajj, the religion that you commit to follow in when you are reciting the Quran, is the same religion that I must commit to follow in every single aspect and facet of my life. There shouldn't be a single corner in my life that is void from the teachings of Islam. I must eat Islam, I must wear Islam, I must breathe Islam, I must live Islam, and I must try my best to die as a Muslim if I want to fit in the mold that is left by my father Ibrahim alayhi salam. Because this is exactly what he did and what he said. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. My prayer, my sacrifice, my life, my death, everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this is not a choice. This is not an option. It is the definition of being a Muslim. And you may ask me, Brother Muhammad, you have made such a big statement that is the definition of being a Muslim. What's your daleel? What's your evidence? لِكُلِّ قَوْلٍ حَقِيقَةٍ. For every statement there is a proof. What's your proof? Let's turn to Surah Al-Bayyinah. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. They were not enjoined anything except that they should serve Allah with utmost sincerity, حُنَفَاءَ. and they should become upright. As a Muslim, I've been told, as a Muslim, you've been told that you have to become upright just like your father was upright. He was a Hanifa and we are Hunafa. وَيُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةَ, and they should establish the prayer. وَيُؤْتُ الزَّكَاةَ, they should pay the poor. وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ, and this is the right religion. This is the right religion. Not this sect or that sect. Not this group or that group. Not this segment or that segment. Not this fraction or that fraction. This is the right religion. Where is this religion today? And I'm sincerely asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, show me how can I become a Muslim like this today? Because I want to do it. And I want to see it. Let's turn to Quran again to seek this guidance. In the Quran, Allah gives us a prime example of a creation other than ours, that shows what it means to be truly committed and dedicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ, subhanallah. Your God sent an inspiration. He inspired. He sent a connection, a revelation to who? To what? A bee. أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ. Take for yourself from mountains, houses, and trees in which you will construct. ثُمَّ كُلِي مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Then you eat from all kind of flowers. فَاسْلُكِي سُبُلَ رَبِّكِ ذُلُلًا. And then you follow the path as it is laid down by your master. You know, nowadays we moan and complain all the time that this religion is so tough, it's so harsh, it's so strict, it's so unfair. I have to do this, but I want to do that. I want to do it like this and not like that. Why do we have to pray 5 daily prayers in 5 separate times? Why can't we pray all 5 daily prayers in one time? This religion needs a complete overhaul. Allah said to the bees, live here, 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 done deal. Any questions? No questions asked. From the time you are born till the time you die, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the flowers and eat, and you're going to follow a process that is called divinely inspired process. يَخْرُجُ مِن بُطُونِهَا, then emerges from their bellies, شَرَابٌ, a drink, مُخْتَلِفٌ أَلْوَانُهُ, different colors, فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, in it there is a cure for the entire mankind. Look at this. Look at this. They spend their entire life doing something for you and me. What do they get in return? You know, when we say to Allah, Ya Allah, I'm doing this so much for you. I'm doing for Allah so much. What do I get in return? I don't get any happiness. I don't get any enjoyment. I don't get any fulfillment in my life. I want to go and do this. Allah tells me to do that. Why do I always have to do what Allah wants me to do? Why can't I do what I want to do? Allah is saying to the bees, you are going to make your homes in these 3 places and 3 places alone. All you're going to do your entire life is to do this. For who? For you and me. And we still have the audacity to ask Allah, Ya Allah, what you're doing for me in return? Allah subjugated an entire creation for you and me, put the entire creation to service for you and me, and still we have the courage to ask Allah, Ya Allah, what are you doing for me in return? إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. In it there is a sign for those who think, who don't ask stupid questions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired the bee directly. He inspires you and me through the Quran. But the difference between us and the bees is that they are committed to do what they are told to do. And in return, they are distinguished for their vital contribution to the world. According to the paper published by National Center for Biotechnology Information, titled as Bee Pollination and Its Economic Value, back in July 2022, do you know that 90% of wild plants and 75% of global crops, leading global crops, depend upon animal pollination? Do you know that 1 out of every 3 morsels of food that you intake depends upon bee pollination? Do you know that bee pollination accounts to $1.5 billion in added value crops? Do you know that if the honeybees were to disappear, you and I and the entire mankind will become extinct? Look at their contribution. And this is all due to the fact that they don't waver. They don't go astray from the task of their existence. Look at the value that they are adding. Despite of the fact that their individual effort is very small. It's minuscule on the grand scale. It's their collective effort that makes them important, that makes them shine. The foragers must collect nectar from 2 million flowers to produce 1 pound of honey. 1 pound of honey requires how many flowers? 2 million flowers. The average forager makes about 1 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her entire life. The average per capita honey consumption in the US is 1.3 pound of honey. What is a bee doing for 1.3 pound of honey that you and I are consuming every single year in this country? Nothing. A teaspoon. But it's not what a bee is doing. It's what the bees are doing. It's not why they are doing, it's who they are doing it for. Today, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we have become so fragmented and divided and segmented that all we focus on, all we obsess about is our own value. My house, my business, my car, my mobile phone, my Insta, my TikTok, my followers, my subscriber, my likes, my hits, my bank balance. Forgetting the fact that it was never about my value. My value is nothing. My value is a teaspoon. But the value of all of us coming together and working as a unit is that the entire world depends upon us. There are great results when a body of people works together, as there are great ramifications when the same body starts to work against one another. Regardless if the bees are workers, drones, or the queen bee, they are one. The legacy of our father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam is calling upon all of us to completely commit upright as one, for the benefit of the entire mankind. All the wrongs in the world today, all the problems that this world is suffering from is because of the discord and divisions between us. Just imagine if the queen bee tells the workers to do the work of the drones and tell the drones to do the work of the workers. Or if the queen bee tells all the drones and all the workers, go and take a break. Go to Ibiza, go to Mali, go to Marrakesh, take a break for a few weeks. What's going to happen? There's going to be a chaos in this world. And if it's a chaos in this world, your crops are not going to grow. If your crops are not going to grow, you're not going to eat. If you're not going to eat, chances are you're going to die. All of this because one insect, one bee decided to follow its own whims and desires. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the problem today is that every single Muslim, including myself, may that be individual or groups, may that be bodies or organization, every single one of us is saying, I'm going to do it my way. How I want, what I want, when I want. And that is where there is a chaos in this world. Our example as an ummah is given in the Quran as the bees. Understand how significant your impact can be, and understand the ramifications when we try to go against one another. I will conclude by saying, all of my brothers and sisters who are sitting here, for all the parents who are sitting here, and I'm extremely sorry if I'm a bit frank and I apologize beforehand, but if you are raising your kids understanding Islam to be one group, one sect, one organization, one following, then understand what our children are doing today is exactly what we taught them. We taught them to follow this group and this leader. Their group and their leaders are musicians. Their group and their leaders are artists. They could be Muslim, they could be full of tattoos, they could be somebody drinking vodka at Instagram, but we told them follow because that's what we like to follow. So they are following what they like to follow. Do we understand that our actions have consequences? Do we understand that when we say to our kids, this is right, this is wrong, he is right, she is wrong, what have we done to our children? And then we say, what is going on with the youth of America today? The question that we need to ask ourselves, what is wrong with the parents today? I walked into the masjid. I was in a Muslim country in a city where they had over 70 masajid. I was 22 years old. I didn't know better. I walked into 2 masjids. Both times I was told I did not belong in the masjid. This is not my people's masjid. Who are my people today then? DJ Khalid is my people? Who are my people today then? Is David Chappelle is my people? Who are my people? We are pushing our children out of the door. We are not Hunafa, they will never be Hunafa. Islam is not a departmental store with competing brands, alluring you to buy one and discard the other. No. Islam is a complete way of life that guarantees protection, preservation, productivity, and prosperity of every single person who adopts it completely. فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. Believe in Allah, believe in the Prophet of Allah, believe in the light that Allah has given you. This light was given to us so that we can direct our life. This light was not given to us by Allah so that we can shine it on other people's face to annoy them. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't think too highly of yourself. Allah is telling us in the Quran, don't shine the light of your knowledge and piety and righteousness in the faces of other people. هُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. If there is anyone who knows your true reality, if there is anyone who knows who you really are, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in today's world, by the way, your phone, right? Your phone really knows who you are, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who you really are. But my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, let's stop assuming that Allah will accept us for who I am. And let's start embracing what Allah wants us to become. It has to go this way, not that way. Stop saying, Ya Allah, accept me for who I am. No, oh Allah, allow me to become who you want me to become. Let's become Muslims and human right here, right now. And this will be our first step, inshallah, towards the perfection and completion of oneself. You know, there is a Chinese proverb which says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So, because we are commencing this new year, I call upon myself and all of you, let's take that first step today. Because our ability to live and thrive and get through these dark times and many dark times that are coming our way is to go back to the fundamentals of Islam completely, upright, and as one. So I sincerely make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us upright. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our communities upright. May Allah make our families upright. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this entire world upright. May Allah allow all of us to live a life that is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the life of a Hanifa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us united in this dunya. May Allah reunite us in the hereafter. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات وذكر الحكيم. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المؤمنين واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.